Hey everybody, my name is Stephen Slocum with New Heritage Woodworks, and today I'm going to talk about dedicated molding planes, so stick around. Alright, so one of the first things we need to talk about when we're cutting moldings is grain direction. When we cut with the grain, we're going to have a nice, smooth finish. When we go against the grain, of course, we're going to probably, more than likely, have tear out, and it's just not going to look nice. So on every board, there's usually one great choice, one horrible choice, and two, okay choices. So when I look here, I'm going with the grain on this edge, but on this face, I'm working against the grain, so that's no good. If I choose this corner, I'm going against the grain on the edge and with the grain on the face. So if I choose this corner, this is the worst choice. I'm going against the grain here and against the grain here. So this is going to be horrible to tear out. But if I choose this, I'm going with the grain on the face and I'm going with the grain on the edge. So that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do here is I am going to clean up this edge. I want molding planes are not going to cut the bottom of this edge, but I want the whole thing to look nice. So I'm going to tighten this up in the vise, and I'll just take a couple passes with this coffin smoother here. Get nice clean edge. I want to make sure the spring line is just one continuous line with the edge of the stock here. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is, now that we got our stock picked, we know which edge we're going after, we cleaned up this edge, or this corner, I should say. We'll go ahead and put this in the tail vise. I usually like to have the stock hanging over the workbench just a little bit. That way I don't have to worry about this fence interacting with the workbench top. Next thing I'm going to do, I'll go ahead and tighten up my bench dogs a bit. And I'll find my mallet and I'll tap these dogs down. So that way I've got my stock laying nice and flat. I don't have to worry about the ends flaring up or anything. Okay, well, let's strike some molding. So I'm checking my spring angle. Working along. So you can knock a lot of this off with a jack plane if you'd like. Start things off. So each of my hands has a job. This right hand gives the plane power. This left hand guides the plane. It makes sure I'm at the right spring angle. The one other important piece of this is I don't want to cover up this escapement. I don't want the planes or the plane shavings to jam up in there. So let's keep going here. Check this spring angle. Okay, so now I'm starting to get this fillet. So when I start seeing that fillet, I'm really going to want to maintain that spring angle. So no more cutting. All right, so let's see how we did. It's not bad. It's like that. We could clean up the fill a little bit. So one way we could do that is to find a small, well, one way I like to do it, use a small shoulder plane. And the great part of these moldings is they have to look nice. They don't have to, it's not a joint. So if the profile is a little different, it's no big deal. It just has to look nice. We can take a few swipes, clean that right up. The last thing you can do is take some ball of shavings here. You can burnish it. So I've got the smoothest profile you've ever seen. Okay, so for me personally, the thing I enjoy about this is I've got a profile ready to go. There's no dust clouds. I don't have dust masks on. I don't have ear protection, respirators. I'm not left with burnt marks all over my profile that now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to sand out. It's just ready to go. All right, so one word of caution here is this is going to be a lot of fun. So while you can tilt this plane and keep cutting, you're not going to want to do that. Once you hit that depth stop, you don't want to tilt it. You just need to be done. Or else, your profile is going to look wonky. All right, thanks for stopping by today, and I hope you learned something. If you're interested in any of these tools, I hope you'll check out my website, newheritagewoodworks.com. And if you have any questions, leave a comment. I'll do my best to answer. Thanks.